Good evening and welcome to Feel Good Talk Love 101. I'm your host, Charles Brakely, along with the host of Love 101, my man, Naeem Najib. What's going on, brother? How you doing today?
Hey Charles, hey everybody, it's a full house today.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And this is a great thing, great thing. So before we get into it, though, I'm going to get right into a commercial or sponsor, which is the A game today. We actually got a few new commercials. I'm going to play the one that's everybody's going crazy over. So here it is, the A game. And that is the A game. Great for your vitality, energy, strength, and libido. And this is for men only. So again, we're working on a product for women. So we'll definitely let you know when that comes out. But right now, this is for men only. So great product. And we have some special guests in the house. So I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, and we'll go from there. We'll start off, ladies first. Ladies first.
Ladies first. Sorry. Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. My name is Shannon Joy, and I'm happy to be here. What else am I supposed to say?
Awesome. That's good.
Hey. Awesome. All right. I'm just happy to be here. So.
Anybody else?
Clarence.
Hello, everybody. My name is Clarence Ball, and I'm in Texas, and I'm ready to feel good while I talk.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Last but not least.
What's up, everybody? I'm Sasha Ford. I'm just happy to be here with these fine brothers and this lady.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So what's going on, Naeem? How you doing today, brother? What's going on with you?
Well, let me introduce myself. I'm Naeem Najib, and I also like to feel good and talk with all of you.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
No, thank you all for coming on the show today. As we do every Wednesday, we're talking about love and relationships and just having an open conversation. So ask questions, give insights. As you know, that's what I do. I share about the truth about love and healthy relationships and unhealthy relationships. And so to start, I always like to ground us in what love is. What is it, at least as far as we're talking about in this show, in this context today? So here we go. Thank you for that. So we have the facts of love and fear. So what love is F for freedom, A for appreciation, C for communication, T for trust, S for sincerity. And what love is not is F for fear. It's not A for attack, anger. It's not anxiety. It's not abuse. It's not C for conflict, confusion. It's not T for trauma. And it's not S for separation. So that's what we, take a screenshot. This is what we do. This is what we are about here at Love 101. We share the facts about love and fear. And last week we had an assignment where we were supposed to give a compliment to just anyone, someone that you don't know, and the report on that, how it went. So, Charles, you want to start with that? How it went for you?
Oh, it went great. This week was a great week. I don't know. Everybody seemed in a better mood. We had better weather. So I guess everybody was in a better mood. Normally, you'll get that look sometimes, not all the time, where people think if you speak to them that something you have an agenda or something. But this week was good. I mean, I had a lot of thank yous, a lot of smiles. A lot of people said, you made my day, stuff of that nature. So it really went well. So, it was a successful week. So I definitely had a great time. Now I do it with sincerity anyway. So I love doing it. So.
Yeah, I know you're a people person, so
yeah.
Likewise, I have success in that. I complimented, plenty of people, more than I remember to count. Mm-hmm. But it was, it feels good to offer appreciation and compliments. So
right.
Yeah, I did that. It was great. Shannon Joy, anything to report?
I can't remember, but I tend to compliment people, put out the energy I want to receive back. So I don't recall specific examples. Probably with my roommates because I see them every day. So yeah.
That counts. That definitely counts. And Clarence, anything you want to share about random acts of appreciation throughout the week you may have experienced or shared with anybody?
I didn't read the homework before I came. But I've been giving people at work compliments and everything, but I still think they don't like me much. So I think that it's New York. That's how I feel about it. Compliments don't go over well in New York. That's how.
Well, thank you, Sasha. Anything to? I know y'all weren't here for the homework, but I'm just asking in general if you had any experiences this week with giving someone a compliment or receiving a compliment yourself. Anyone you know, you don't know, anything like that. And also, Feel Good Talk family out here on Facebook Live. Anything y'all want to share, please do.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. It sounds like it's a little choppy here and there, but I was gonna say that to the point of appreciation, I've been recognizing more and more appreciating myself actually. You know, dealing with like I've been in therapy for like about a year, a little bit over a year now, and it's just funny you talk about appreciation because that's one of kind of one of my biggest, I want to say, not flaws, but just something that I haven't recognized, um, for just the man in the mirror himself. You know what I mean? So when you talk about appreciation, I already think about how much I appreciate myself much more, in the past, I would say month or so, you know. Um, Giving myself that kind of appreciation feels very much different in the sense that, okay, now I can actually appreciate things outside of myself even more, if that makes sense. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. That's the first step. Appreciating yourself, self love. Thank you
Right.
for bringing it back home to that because that's where it starts. So thanks, Sasha.
All right. Hey, we do got some comments out there. We jump right into them. I hate to have them waiting. Fatima West says, ready to feel good. Fatima, yes, indeed. Thanks for tuning in, Fatima. And I know you got some stories, so please let us know what's going on. We also have, Izzy Meditate. She says, hello, everyone. What's going on, Izzy? Thanks for tuning in. We got Kia Milborn. Hello, Chuck, and everyone else. What's going on, Kia? Thanks for tuning in. Definitely appreciate you. And now she's tuning in from YouTube. So, shout out to the YouTube station over there. Definitely appreciate that. And Fatima also says, showing support to others on pages, other business women. Okay, that's what you did. Okay, cool, Fatima. We appreciate that. And Jose Pagan, what's going on, brother? He says, what's up, good people? What's going on? This brother is awesome, photographer extraordinaire. So check him out. If you don't know, give him a holler. That's Jose Pagan. I hope I'm saying the last name right. And Izzy Meditate said, hello, Jose. We also have Izzy. She's talking to Fatima. That's the one thing about Feel Good Talk family, man. They talk to everybody. So everybody's talking to everybody. So that's a good thing. And Dreddy Gale says, thanks as always for doing this, Charles and Naeem. Love what you just shared about appreciating yourself. So thanks for tuning in, Dreddy Gale. Appreciate you. And that's what the people had to say, Naeem.
The people have spoken.
Yes, sir.
Please continue to speak.
That's right. Like they always do.
Yes. So our conversation here today is about what you want to talk about. So we covered our homework assignment. We've talked about appreciation. Now, what is on the minds of the people today? Want to know. So let's start with ladies first. Shannon Joy, do you have anything you've been thinking about? Yes, you're on the spot about relationships, love, romance, any kind of relationship between human beings, with yourself, that you want more clarity on, something that maybe you've noticed, something that you want to bring up. It doesn't have to be a question, could just be an insight. And yeah, there's no right or wrong answers. We're just having a conversation here. And so yeah, anything you want to share?
Okay. I do feel on the spot, but that's okay. I'm ready. um, so something I've been thinking about is how people of different faiths can come together in a specifically romantic partnership. Like if you believe something drastically different, for instance, a devout Christian who is with someone who's more of a universal spiritualist, and just how to function when one religion kind of demonizes the other, one faith demonizes the other, or sees it as less than or evil, or like you're definitely going to hell, but I still love you, that kind of energy. So. Do you feel like there's a question? You got the question in there?
Yes. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
it's a big load of a question. It's like
Right.
like you have a laundry load that you have to separate into different machines because it can't all fit in one. So
Mhm.
yeah, there's not just one answer to that. But I will start with the principle. The principle of any healthy relationship. Well, let me just put it out there. Let me ask it as a question. Do you believe that a healthy relationship would be rooted in a common thought system or different thought systems? Meaning, we think we have the same thought system about things, or we have a different thought system about things.
I mean, you can make it work either way.
A common thought system, though. You can make it work, but it just feels like it will be a lot of extra communication, not as efficient as a common thought system.
Okay,
Yeah.
efficient.
Now I know of like you were just talking. That's funny you said that as far as different religions, and I know a couple that they're both different as far as religions are concerned, and they have a really very very healthy relationship. I guess it takes a lot of understanding, and amongst each other to have that type of relationship, because again, you believe in what you believe, that person believes in what they believe. But again, if you love that person, we always talk about that, they have the freedom to believe what they want to believe, and you still can, give them that appreciation that they deserve. So as far as I'm concerned, I think, it depends. I mean, it could be either way. That's just my, like I said, my opinion. And I've seen it work before. So.
Yeah, I think it can, I think it could work if there's no, it doesn't have to be a common ground. Only because I think that if each individual has a sureness about themselves, a lot of times I think we as average human beings, we try to impart our
Right.
reflect ourselves on the other person, and I think that's kind of messed up. You know what I mean? Everybody's allowed to be their own selves. So you could love the person beyond what they believe in. You know what I mean? It's just, will you willing to be okay with, I guess. But I do think it can work as long as I'm not trying to reflect what I believe on you. You're not trying to reflect what you believe on me. You know what I mean? We just have a separate thing in that. For example, I think I know somebody who is very religious, and she wants to raise her son in the church, you know. And a friend of mine, he told me, he said, I don't really believe in that whole church thing, whatever, and I'm like, well, why is it such a big deal to you anyway, what she wants to do? If she believes in that, that's what she wants. You know what I mean? You don't really care that much, so why try to control that, what you don't even care about that much anyway? You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. I think you can have common ground and it could work, or you can have uncommon ground still work, as long as you're not trying to impart yourself on the other person.
Right.
I just want to say a wise brother told me that religion is form and that God is content.
Mm-hmm.
And so if the person that you love has the content of God, then I don't care what you call him or her or how you pray to them or when you do it. Somebody could call themselves a Christian and not really have the content of God because they don't treat you like they have the content of God. So those are my thoughts on that. I think God is smarter than us, and he or she doesn't really care what we call them as long as we believe in them enough to change our behavior.
Interesting.
Thank you. Both of you.
Sorry, my mute was acting crazy.
I was like, Naeem.
My mute button
Yeah.
was on a different religion. It was like, "Don't touch me." So, I wrote some things. What do we got going on in the comments?
We got a lot of stuff going on in the comments, so let's get right to them. Let's see here. Boom. Got some talking going on as well. Let's see. She says, Fatimla West says, I like that too. Self-appreciation. All right, we got Jose. He's speaking back to Izzy. He's telling her hello. And Fatima also says intimate capability issues level of comfort in different acts. She's asking a question. And I think you answered it as we were going along, Naeem. So we'll come back to that if we have to. And Dreddy Girl also says, just finished the conversation about love being entirely unconditional. Would love for you to clarify exactly what unconditional truly means regarding love. Thanks as always. You want to stop here and tackle that, or you just want to go through the questions and come back to that? What you want to do?
Let's stop here because that's a great question. Let's go back to our chart about the facts of love. And there's 5 of us here, so let's each take one of the 5 things, right? So let's start with can you share the screen? Oh, you shared the screen. I'm late. Can you start with freedom? Charles, what does it mean if these things are love and love is unconditional? What does unconditional freedom mean?
Right, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to move that out the way. Okay, unconditional freedom. To do as you choose to do. To be free to make your own decisions and so on and so forth. So
okay. I'll take appreciation. So unconditional appreciation means that you appreciate someone, you appreciate anyone. It's not like there's one person like, I appreciate everyone in the world except that one,
right.
And it's like, or you appreciate someone, but only sometimes. Okay, Sundays I'll appreciate you, but on other days, or every day but Sunday,
right?
And sometimes, and so, yeah, that would be an unconditional appreciation. I mean, you appreciate them regardless. What about communication, Mr. Ball the Third? Would you like to take that one? Unconditional communication.
I wish we could spend all day on unconditional freedom. Man, that set me down for a second. Unconditional communication, I'd rather skip it. I want to go into unconditional trust.
All right, you go ahead. You take trust for 200, and somebody else will take. I should have let everybody choose their own, but I was not allowing freedom. I said, no, you have to take freedom. You have to take communication.
Right.
Clarence and communication start with C. So if it rhymes and if it has a reason or a rhyme, then that's what matters. But go ahead, go for trust.
I think unconditional trust would mean that you have to trust the person's intentions. I think that the actions is one thing, but sometimes you do stuff, but you didn't intend for it to land the way it landed.
Right.
To impact the person the way it impacted them. So unconditional trust, in my opinion, would have to be me trusting the other person's intentions, that they always mean the best for me. Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I trust that answer. Thank you. Shannon Joy, would you take Even if you want to take one that has been already taken, whatever one is calling to you, go ahead and pick it.
I want to do freedom. I think it's been done though, but the freedom is the freedom to stay and be together in love, or to be apart also in love unconditionally. And that it's okay either way if you're together or not. Unattachment, basically, at its highest form.
When you say it's okay if you're together or not, do you mean like physically together or together talking together?
Yes, physically together or not. Yeah.
Got it.
Like you can't control the person's whereabouts, or
you can if you got that new tracker app. Sorry, go ahead. Are you done? Just checking. Okay, Sasha, anyone you want to pick for unconditional love? Even if you just want to go back to love, which one do you want to talk about?
Communication.
Communication for 400. Go ahead.
Yeah, communication is I think it's key. You know, if we talk about unconditional communication, you know, whatever is, I think that may tie into a little bit of sincerity too, as far as communication goes. You know, just if you, whatever is true to you, you know, whatever you're feeling, as long as there is no, like, without communication, I think conflict comes, right? Because either with yourself or with your significant other, you know what I mean? And it doesn't even have to be your significant other. It could be anyone that you're dealing with, you know, friends, family, whatever. But unconditional communication is you talk your truth, you know, you talk that of which you feel is necessary to be said, you know, to anybody, you know what I mean? Not to say everything needs to be said, but there are times that things do need to be said, especially within a relationship, you know, to avoid conflict in itself, you know. So I think communication is unconditional communication, I think is very, very much important. I think it ties in to a lot of honesty with yourself and everybody else around you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. That was good. Yeah. Anyone else want to take any? Which one didn't we? I think we got you. You covered kind of trust. You covered sincerity too. So that's good. I'm gonna take this down. All right, we're back.
Yeah, we got the comments. They're coming through big time. So
yeah,
we'll get right into the comments some more. And let's see. We got Naeem. He says, can two people practice different religions and have a common or same thought system?
Who's this guy?
You want to answer that, Naeem, or you want to?
I don't know this guy. No, I'll let that for everybody.
Okay, well, this what they can also. Can you love someone and not agree with them about things? All right, we do have one here though. Kia says it can work. You can date someone of another religion. I know I dated someone of another religion. It worked because religion wasn't a part of our conversation.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Yep.
And I have a question on that. Can two different religions, or someone being a-religious or atheist or not grounded in any religion, can it work if you both, you know, like Sasha was saying, like if you just say, well, this is how I practice this religion or not, and I'd like to know what it means to you, and you have open conversation, judgment free, and you are appreciated in that space for sharing whatever you are, whatever your position is about it.
Right.
I'm wondering if even if people have a different perspective or a different religious or tradition, could it still work?
Hmm.
What would it take for it to work? That's a good question for everyone. What would it take for it to work, for two people to be upfront that they're not of the same religious tradition, be able to talk about it, but still get along and have a healthy relationship? So to make the question simple, what would it take for it to work for two people of different religions to have a healthy relationship? Maybe Naeem will write that in the chat.
I think one of the things you probably need is humility. You know, because the reason why I say humility is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that might be the right term, only because I think when I see religious people, so to speak, talk, a bit of it comes with some type of, you can't argue beliefs, right? You can't argue beliefs, because what someone believes, they just believe, right? It comes with a bit of a arrogance, so to speak, right? It becomes a thing of argument for argument's sake of, I think dharma, right? Well, how is yours right and mine's is right? How is yours right and mine's is wrong? And this thing kind of comes in, and I think if you can think outside the box, right, and just stay on the outside of it altogether, and actually listen to what someone else is saying instead of waiting for yourself to speak to show your point. I think religion kind of creates this kind of thing. You know what I mean? But if you could be outside of it, you have to be outside of your own thought process, so to speak, if that makes sense. If I call myself a Christian, I have to be able to stand outside of that as well. Or if I call myself a Muslim, I have to be able to stand outside of that as well and look in on it to even be able to talk to someone else about what they believe in, because it always becomes this kind of match, like, well, how am I right and you're right? It's a conflict. So I think you have to take some type of humility, and correct me if that's the wrong word, but I think you have to take some type of humility or humbleness, so to speak, to really be able to appreciate someone else and what they say.
Sorry, Sasha, I was just waiting to come off mute to talk. I wasn't listening, but I was just was waiting until you was done and put yourself
Right.
on now. No, that was good. Thank you. Thank you. For anybody else want to share anything on top of what he said just now?
Well, me personally, I really, that's one of the conversations I hate having is somebody, I don't know what's going on here, Echo, but that's one conversation I try to stay away from: religion and politics, because they start wars, and it's just not a good thing. So that's why I don't even talk about it. We try not to talk about it. But again, it's all based on faith. So it's one's faith. So it's not like, faith is as good as trusting in something that is not there or seen or heard or whatever. So again, I try to not get into it too much because, like you said, and Sasha was right, you have to be outside the box in order to figure some things out, because a lot of times certain things, religions and stuff, they make you narrow-minded, where you're just thinking within those realms versus thinking outside. Like you ever hear the saying, someone's looking in versus, looking on the inside where you're in it. So you can't really see what's going on around you, or they put blinders on to, I guess, solidify, what they believe in. And to me, that's not good. Like I said, I'm open-minded. So that's why I really don't get into all of the religions and stuff like that. But that's just on me. That's just me. And I think it can work as long as you, like I said, it's a belief system. If I believe something, like I might believe, I don't eat pork or beef. You know what I'm saying? So you might eat pork and beef, but that don't mean I'm going to be mad at you for eating pork and beef. You know what I'm saying? So again, we just have to compromise and try to get along when we go to the restaurant. And I'll just say, hey, Naeem, would you eat? You eat what you eat, but it don't, it shouldn't bother you. That's how I look at it. I think a lot of people just get too deep into it, whereas it creates this animosity or this belief system that you're going to hell, that person's going to hell, and who knows. So that's just my opinion.
Clarence, you were going to say something.
I was just gonna say that it's good if people can respect each other's rituals and customs, because sometimes some of those dates might line up and everything. So I think that's
right.
That's a part of it, I would have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also back to what you were saying about narrow-mindedness and whatnot, Charles. When it's kind of like trying to explain water to a fish, right? When you're in it and you're so in it, like no one can tell you, oh, you're being fanatical right now. It's like, no, I'm being righteous. You're being,
mm-hmm.
wrong, and so on. So that whole pointing fingers, going back and forth. But this is a good conversation because we have people, who families are divided over things like this. And I'm just asking the question: is a way that we can get along, meaning have a healthy dynamic. Again, that question that Naeem asked, do you have to like someone or agree with them to love them? And if love is appreciation, do I have to agree with your religion or your tradition or your practices to appreciate you, to value you, to respect you, right? To break bread with you or not? Like, there's one thing, it's like, oh, well, we have to break bread on Saturdays or we have to not. It's like, well, I can respect your traditions. You don't have to do anything or have to not in order to appreciate you. That whole thing, the whole love is freedom thing. Mm-hmm. So let's go to more comments unless anyone else want to share anything about that.
Well, yeah, I think you just answered that. You have to like someone. Well, no, you didn't. Like someone to love them.
Anybody?
No, you don't have to like someone to love them.
Right.
I'm sure that we all have experiences of love in our lives where the personality is not necessarily the most compatible or pleasing to us, but we still love the person because love is universal, but personality quirks come in all variety of shapes and sizes and shades. So I don't think you have to like someone to love them. It helps though.
I'm agree with Sasha on this one. I mean, that's I'm oh God. I'm so sorry. Y'all don't kill me, man. I apologize. My brother's just tired. I'm sorry, Shannon. Don't beat me up. I'm sitting here looking at Sasha's name and talking to you at the same time. I'm so sorry. But I agree with you. Mm-hmm.
Let's go to more comments then.
All right. Here we go. Izzy says, no, I don't believe you have to like someone to love them. That's true. And Fatima says, love is a decision. You have to decide to love. Taimu says, you gotta like before love. All
right.
And we got Taimu also. He says, good evening, ladies and gents. What's up, Taimu? What's going on, brother? Thanks for tuning in. Hey, did you do your homework? Let us know. And Fatima says, and that doesn't mean we will be together. I still love you, but may not continue to share life with you. Okay, Fatima. And Dreddy Girl says, thank you all for the loving responses to unconditional love question. Appreciate the responses and you all. Thanks for tuning in, Dreddy Girl. We appreciate you. Tyrone says the 10 of life is tuned in. He's always tuned in. What's up, Ty? Nice seeing you the other night, brother. Thanks for tuning in. And Naeem comes back with what would it take for two of different religion or religious spiritual practice? I guess you were asking the same questions to have a healthy relationship. So we answered that pretty much. And Kia Milburn says you can discuss religion and letting them know what you believe, but also understand how their beliefs works. It's good. Temu says, like my aunt said, she would never step foot in my restaurant again because I sold pork. There, I said, okay, then get to stepping. Of course, she was Muslim. Okay. Thanks for that, man. Appreciate it. And Naeem says, are there levels to liking someone? Meaning, can you like someone more or less? You want to tackle that one? And we'll just do this one thing right here. Trust me, I did my homework. Okay. Yeah, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that's it. All right. And that is the comments there. Did you want to go back to that one, Naeem?
Yeah, anybody want to answer that?
No, I just think you either like the person or you don't. I mean,
Yeah, I agree. I agree, Chuck. I was thinking the same thing.
I mean, do you like that person or like that person? You know what I mean? So
yeah, I don't think there's anything beyond like, you know, levels to like. Like either you like them or you just don't like them.
right, exactly. I agree with you on that, Sasa. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, nothing outweighs the other. You know, it's either you like them or you just don't. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think so too. I don't think there's levels to it.
Nah, no levels. Hey, Shannon, I'm sorry again.
I think there's levels.
What'd you say?
I do think there are levels to like, but that's just how I am. I think it might be like specific to personality. More personalities are like black or white, and some are more, there's a lot of gray area, and I'm a very gray area type. So I do feel like I like certain aspects of certain people, but I don't actually like all of those aspects. But I still can enjoy their presence to some degree in some specific set of time limit or whatever. So I think there are layers and levels. There's a spectrum of like to me.
Shannon, I agree with you, and I would agree with you with a little bit of evidence. I think that the more you like a person, the more places you can take them. So if you don't like them enough to take them everywhere, then you don't like them. That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
That makes sense. All right. I'm messing with you, man.
What do you think, Naeem?
Can we go to the next comment and then I'll go back to that one?
Oh, the next comment was this one right here. Trust me, I did my homework. That was it.
Oh, there was no one after that? Okay, I see. Well, the next comment that I wrote and apparently didn't send was, are there levels to loving someone? Can you love someone more than someone else?
I mean, if you can't like them more, I would say no. There's no levels to love. I mean, especially if you're talking universal principles of love. You know, I mean, you could feel for a person probably, I guess a different relationship with that person. But as far as loving them more, I don't think so. If you're talking universal.
Yeah, I don't think there's a right now, for what I understand, man, like right at this moment, I don't think there's a different level of loving somebody, right? Maybe there's levels of feeling someone more than another person, but the love itself, like you said, Chuck, universal itself, like I don't think there's a level to that either. From my perspective, I don't see it.
I agree.
I agree with you.
I agree. Yeah. Go ahead, Shannon. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say I agree with the brothers, because why would we even create the word like if love wasn't black and white?
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, I got this comment here. I gotta show this one, man. This is something. Here it is. He says, like I may like you to take you to Red Lobster, but I don't like you that much to take you to Las Vegas.
That's a like.
Yo, that's a like. All right, there you go. There you
Well,
go, Table.
I guess there is
Oh,
no
that's
good
good.
then.
Yeah. Okay, now you already answered that. That's a good. We gotta throw that one back up there. All right.
Okay.
All right, Table. I hear you. I had to put that up there, man. But yeah, man, shoot, awesome conversation.
It's interesting because attraction is another word for like I'm attracted to this person, they're attracted. But you have music that you like more than other music. You have food that you like more than other food. And it doesn't mean that just because you like this one this much and this one that much that you don't like this. It just means you like, if you were given a choice and you can only have one, you probably choose the one you like more, right? And that's just a preference. That's normal. That doesn't mean love.
Right.
It's hard to talk about it, but I mean, parents like some children more than they like others. You don't say that, but you may like one child. You don't love your children differently, but you may like, I don't like or like different aspects. I don't like that this one's a slob. I like that this one's neat, but I don't like that this one's so anal about everything and this one's more spontaneous. I like that. You know what I mean? So
Right.
there's just some things to be told the truth about in that we can like things and not like them anymore. Like, even when you were children, I find it interesting that when children grow out of things, like they play with a toy, there's no time where it says, all right, well, the time for me to play with this toy is over. Let me just put it on the shelf and then get another toy. It's just like they just somehow grow out of it, or they just stop playing with it and they just move on to something else, right? And it doesn't mean that they don't appreciate that toy or appreciate it any more or less. And that's the thing, because love is appreciation. So you can appreciate everything and everyone equally, but maybe you can like them on different levels. Just saying. So is there any more comments?
Nah, not at the present moment. Nope.
Okay. Yes. Or anything else anyone wanna share, ask? I think it's been a great conversation.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
And I'm getting more into asking questions myself, because no, I don't have all the answers. All I have is answers about love and fear. Same thing I put
Right.
up in the beginning. That's the same thing I'm gonna go back to, the principles of love and fear. And that question I asked about, can you? I don't know if we answered that. If you can, I don't. You need to go back. I'll ask it again. Can you be of different religions but have the same thought system? And then from that question is, what is a thought system, right? Because if you say Jesus and I say Muhammad, or if you say Buddha and this one says the universe, could it be that they mean the same thing and they're using different words? Could it be that they're practicing a similar thought way of thinking? If Christ says one thing about doing unto your neighbor and Buddha says a similar thing about doing unto your neighbor, that may be the same result. Could it be that we're using different practices and having the same meaning behind it? I'm asking it as a question. I'm not stating it. I'm saying, could it be that maybe somehow, maybe you go to a building that looks like this, or maybe I just go to a corner in my house with a shrine, but we're basically going inside, and when you say you're doing your prayers, I say I'm doing my altar work, that we may be setting forth the same intention? Could it be that? Could it be that we have different ways of accessing the same universal energy? I'm just asking the question. Could it be? And maybe if we looked at it that way, could we find more common ground to communicate? Could we? That's my
Right.
question.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I'm with what you just stated. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
religion's a really sensitive subject for people. But what you said is 100% right. At least that's how I feel. It's just a different perspective, honestly.
Right.
A different culture, so to speak, a different way you were raised, but all under one umbrella, really. You know what I mean? but you can't really take that rhetoric to the diehard religious person. You like nobody don't want to hear that, you know. Like well, they don't want to hear that. I'm saying, you know, it's a really touchy kind of thing, man. That's why, like Chuck said earlier, I stay away from that kind of, you know. If you ask me what I believe in, I kind of just I'm just kind of mute, you know. I rather just I like to listen to people talk. You know, I mean, I like to hear what your reasoning behind things. You know, if you could give me a reason or whatever.
Right.
You know, usually I may just ask a question and then it incites an argument, but it just shows you how. All right, well, this is why we can't have this conversation because you know, you already think I'm attacking your belief system, but that's not true. You know, I'm just giving you a different perspective. That's all
Right.
it is. You know what I mean? So, but what you said is absolutely right, Naeem. I think, yeah, you going to the shrine and me going to the river to talk to the same omnipotent person or whatever, you know. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree.
Yes, that's true. I mean, and if you thought like that, open-mindedly like that, then you know this world would be definitely a better place. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's true. Hey, we got some.
I
Oh,
was going to say briefly that I agree with all of that except for the part about the universe. I think that the universe is a creation and that God is the creator. But to all of the rest of it, where they go directly to the creator, I'm okay with that.
And anything, Shannon Joy?
You caught off guard. You caught off guard. You good? Okay. Hey, we do got some comments out there. Did you want to elaborate on that, Naeem, or you want to get to the comments?
Let's get to the comments.
All right, cool. All right, we got Izzy Meditate. She's in the house. She says, I love that you're posting the questions in the chat. Yeah, that is great. So people can actually just come right in and chime right in, and that's awesome. So we're gonna keep that up, Izzy. Fatima West says, different paths to the same way of thinking, heart for humanity. It could be. So she's saying it could be, Naeem, which you were talking about. And Temu says, can you be in a relationship with someone for 15 years and not love them? This was a discussion on Facebook post a couple months ago.
Anybody for this one, for Temu's question? Clarence, any thoughts on that? Shannon Joy?
15 years.
My initial thought is you're with them for 15 years. So there's some love there, but you might not like them or be attracted to them or want to see them every day. But I mean, I'm not going to tell someone that they're in love when they don't feel it, but I believe there is a level of love there because you're staying with them for 15 years for some reason. Hopefully not just out of fear.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's.
I mean, he could have scared her into marrying her, or she. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Only because I know of like a couple of situations where I mean, dudes play a good they play a good role. Like they play a good Oscar winning role, man. And you know, just for a corner, just for a cot, you know, just for a place to be. I mean, they'll play that role lovely. You know what I mean? And they will stay, you know, no matter what. They not going nowhere. You know, for lack of better terminology, they just want to be a bum. Like they just want to bum off for the woman. Like I've seen that. You know what I mean? So because of that, I can't really say that, you know, you being there, because time, I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything, but it don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? You there for 15 years. I mean, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Next day you could fall in love with somebody else. You know, it happens. You know what I mean? But usually, not usually, I've just seen situations where you know, and I'm only talking because of what I've seen, you know, men have stayed, men I'm talking about, right? Where yeah, they they have their insecurities, right? Also they have their agenda, you know. Well, I'm gonna just hug the crib, man. I mean, she ain't going nowhere. You know, I'm gonna just stay here. You know, I'm gonna make it work the best way I can. You know, meanwhile everybody's miserable in the house. Like everybody's just
Right.
miserable. You know what I'm saying? So, is there love there? I don't know. You know, I don't know if there is. I don't know if there isn't. But I know that you could definitely be there and not really be feeling each other. That's you know.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah. And I
Is
think
it
sometimes
love?
it gets to that point too. You know what I'm saying? After a certain amount of time, you know, like I said, everyone changes after a while. You know what I'm saying? Certain things, or you just change as the relationship goes on. Not intentionally, but it just happens. You know what I mean? So I think you could be still with someone for 15 years and still not be. I I don't know. That's a good question though. Yeah, can you be in love? But like you said, like you were saying about, you know, them hugging the crib or trying to get, you know, a place to stay and stuff like. I've seen that too. You know, where, you know, they don't have to work and stuff, so the woman's taking care of them and stuff like that. So I understand exactly where you're coming through with that one. But I do believe you could be with someone for years and still not be in love with them. Personally, I don't know how I got to that point, but
Yeah.
you know,
Well, when we looking, a lot of the conversation has been about how someone's, getting their basic needs met, and that's just our animal based nature. If someone's going to crawl in a hole where they know they're gonna have warmth, shelter, food, everything they need, they don't have to like or love
right,
whatever's
right.
going on in that hole. They just know that I know there's security here. There's like my
Hmm.
base, my animal, my survival is here.
Hmm.
And it's really hard to get it's really hard for human beings to leave a situation where they're being taken care of. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Hmm.
it would have to get to a really severe place for them to leave, like leaving home, and you don't hear about someone having just saying, all right, I'm gonna leave because all my needs are taken care of. This love, is joy, and everything, and I'm just out. I just don't want to be here anymore. Whatnot. It's more. There's some like it becomes untenable, right?
Right.
So yeah, I think we basically said we can go to more comments because I think other people
Yeah.
answered the question too.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on here. Fatima says, we do when we look at most religions have the same heart, power, love, entity, or source. That's why I can respect so many people in other paths. Okay. Izzy also says, I think that people in a relationship can practice two different religions and have a healthy relationship. As a matter of fact, it shows a lot that they can function together and have respect and love for each other despite their differences. Yes, indeed. Fatima says, we have more in common. We live under the same sun and close our eyes to the same moon. People can be in respect, admiration, and not feel its love. Paul says, I just got home. Look like I missed a great show. Yeah, you did a little bit, Paul, but we got the questions in the comments. So if you want to answer some of those, you can. Thanks for tuning in. And Fatima says, yes, there is a level of something. I don't know what I think we were talking about. We were talking about levels of likes and stuff of that nature.
And I think also when someone said there's a level of something when someone's in the relationship for 15 years, it could be either one of those. But
okay, yeah. And Izzy says, Temu, oh yeah, you can totally be with a person for 15 years and not love them in a relationship way, but have love for them as a person.
And it's interesting that we're talking about relationship. We're automatically reverting to the idea that it's a romantic,
Right? Exactly.
We don't know because we've been with our caretakers, most of us, for over 15 years, and some of us don't love or like them. It doesn't necessarily have to be your parents, but
Right.
definitely in a relationship of some sort, and it doesn't necessarily mean there's always love there. Here's an indication that it's not love, y'all. Is there abuse? Is there judgment? is there attack? If there's any of that stuff, this is not love.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
All that stuff we said, fear, attack, all that, that's not love.
There you go. And Fatima says, people in multiple relationships longer. Wait a minute. People in multiple relationships longer than that
People be in multiple relationships.
time. Yeah, she must have said, man, people. Oh, I'm sorry. People be in my eyes. I don't know. Everything's going together. People be in multiple relationships longer than that time means nothing. Exactly. And Temu says, yes, thank you for the comment, because the young lady said she never loved him in the 15 years they were together. I said, no way in heck you didn't love him at some point in time in the relationship. So
All right. Thank you. Any
thanks
other
for those comments? Nah, that's it for right now.
Anybody here on the show want to share anything, ask anything before we close out? Love how everybody's looking around.
Yeah.
I got something to share, but it ain't nothing to do with what we talking about. But
that's okay.
That concept of time is very tricky. I think it fools people a lot.
It does.
I've come to understand that now as I've gotten I don't want to say older, but much more mature to understanding time itself. You know how one day to the next can change so much. You know what I mean? Where 15 years didn't really mean much of anything. You know what I mean? You were just trapped in who you were. You know what I'm saying? You were the person probably just never evolved beyond what you understood. You know what I mean? And time just passed, but it had no potency to it. You know what I mean? We will be fortunate enough to learn something new every single day that will enhance our growth, which would be awesome. But if we're not evolving, periodically, that time is not significant, honestly. That's how I kind of look at it. So it's very. I've heard people say, "Oh my God, I've had so much invested with this time." Doesn't mean anything. You didn't do anything different than you did yesterday. Time just passed, but you didn't do anything different. You didn't evolve. Like, you talk about time invested, but what is that really? Time is just going, but you didn't invest anything. You know what I'm saying? So that time thing is very tricky when it comes to people and not really thinking outside the box when it comes to that. So I would definitely encourage people to really have a clear thought process on what you're doing every day in your life.
Thank you for that. You're right. Time is going to pass anyway. What are you doing with your time?
Exactly.
It's like, man, I was sitting here for 2 hours. All right. And what? Sitting here. You could have been sitting there writing. You could have been sitting there reading, sitting there watching a movie, sitting there meditating, sitting there doing with Izzy, sitting there doing nothing, sitting there complaining, sitting there. 2 hours is 2 hours going to pass anyway. But man, I've been in this relationship with this chair for 2 hours though. It's like, but what have you in the chair been accomplishing? What have you been doing? We've been in this relationship for 15 years. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, that it's not saying much. It's just reporting a fact.
Yeah.
That happened. It would have happened whether your relationship was amazing, healthy, magical, or if it was unhealthy, dysfunctional, and insane. 15 years still would have passed.
Yep. And it's what you put into that time, man. That's all. Like we just said, man, that's what counts. I've been doing this for so many years, but I mean, what are you getting out of it? What did you get out of it? What did you do? How did you, what was the purpose? What did you do to contribute? I mean, I don't know. It's just a lot of questions you can ask within that 15 years. And if nothing really came out of it, I mean, what difference does it make? It doesn't mean anything. And like you said, Sasha, that can get a lot of people confused. Oh, I've been there for 20 years or what? Okay. sometimes you got to make a change sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Or you got to dip, or you got to do what you got to do in order to continue to live the best life that you can live. So again, I mean, you know, it's just time, like you said. And I'm telling you, time flew by. Once you get a certain age, once I hit like I'm not gonna say my age, but everybody know I'm old, but once you hit like around 25 or so, God darn, time flies. Man, I still remember when I was 30, man, to 35, that's crazy. And I'm sitting here like, where did the time go? And I remember when I was 15 and 13 thinking about, man, I can't wait till I get 21. For what? Time just flew after that. It was like, wow. So again, time is, like I said, you got to make the best of the time, man. You know, and just because you've been doing or been in a situation for so long, that don't mean you really put in any type of work either. So a lot of people think because they've been here, like I see a lot of people that talk about, you know, I've worked 10 hours a day or 15 hours a day, but if you can't do it in a certain amount of time, it can't be done, or either you're doing something wrong. So again, you know, I don't know. It's just time. That's tricky. That time is tricky. Definitely get everybody tricked up on that. So
I have an assignment based on what you just said.
What's up, brother? Talk to me.
Assignment for everybody this week is this question: what would you do? So you got from today to next Wednesday. What would you do if you had 24 hours left to live? That's the question. So
that's a good one. You might want to put that in that feed, man. Well, then they might start answering it right now, though. But
so, what would you do if you had 24 hours left? So, I would invite you to sit down for 15 minutes and write it out, what you think you'd like to do, and just write it out so you can look at it and see this is what I would do. If right now it's 8 o'clock and I have until 8 o'clock tomorrow, between this time and that time, what do I want to do? And you'll see what's important to you. And then the next part of the assignment is how much of that stuff can you actually do between in that 24 hours or between now and next week. So it could be anything simple as write a letter, talk to somebody, you know, get your affairs in order, you know, listen to some music, whatever, you know, whatever it is, just as simple. It could be, you know, eat a bag of chips, whatever it is, like Red Hot Blues with some good chips. You might want to have a bag of those before you go.
Right.
It is, simple as complex. Something that's unsaid that you want to say, something that's someone you'd like to see, something you'd like to taste, touch, whatever. Just what would you do if you had 24 hours left to live? Write a list and then see how many we can check off. So yeah.
And I'll play that song by the Locks. If you had 24 hours to live, let me stop. Nah. Hey, we got a lot of comments, man. So I'm gonna get to some of those because we got about 8 of them right here. So let's jump right on here. And Naeem, thanks everyone. Thank you, everybody. Hey, for tuning in. But we definitely appreciate you. Dreddy Girl says, thanks all. Sasha, thanks for everything you have shared throughout this episode, from the self-appreciation to the clarity on time. Yes, indeed. And Izzy says, Chuck, once you have kids, time goes out the door. Yes, they do, because I know, believe me. And Fatima says, 24 hours to live. Wait a minute. Dreddy Girl says, always love that question, Naeem. All we have is the present moment. And also she says, Izzy says, want to answer that question so bad, but I will wait until the next show. Thank you, Izzy. Appreciate it. And Dreddy Gale says, and we are not entitled to any amount of time here. So enjoy it lovingly and maximally. There you go. Where we at? They moving so fast now. Chuck always have a song in his head laughing. I know I can't help it. It's something. I don't know. It's just something. But Paul says, what's up, cuz? He says, you don't know how much time you've been in something until you looking back. Yeah, sometimes that's true. And again, this week assignment, what would you do if you had 24 hours to live? Write a list out and see how many you can check off by next week. That's a great one. Tabron Shore says, an hour lost cannot be regained. I spent, get over it. It's spent, get over it. Learn from it, move on. No doubt. And then Paul says, hey, Mon Lovey. Okay, cool. I'll let her know, Paul. Thanks for tuning in, brother.
And Salima in the back says, to Charles, age ain't nothing but a number, and mine is unlisted.
That's right. I feel good. I'm about maybe 30 and I feel like 30 years old. I'm 30 years old, so I'm good.
You're as old as you feel. And you
Yeah,
feel
I feel great. I still hang with the young bucks. I'll let you know that. Trust me. But anyway, hey man, I just want to say also, if you haven't done it already, check us out or like us on LinkedIn at Feel Good Talk, also Facebook at Feel Good Talk, YouTube at FGT Mind, Body, Soul, and Business, and Instagram at Feel.GoodTalk. Check us out. We're there. We're everywhere. Also on Roku and also on Amazon TV as well. And I think we got one more question here. And Izzy says, Tabron Shorts, it's the truth. As we get older, we learn to invest our time more wisely. Some of us do. So true, though. So true. So that was a great show, man. Awesome show.
I'm done. Thanks everybody for joining. Thank you for coming online with us.
Appreciate it. Anybody got anything before we get out of here?
Interesting, very interesting. Not, I don't want to say a quote or a concept, but this guy is a mobster. His name was forgot his name. Might have been Vincent Della Croce. He was a mobster, right? And he was a part of the Gambino crime family. And on his on his deathbed, right? The last words he spoke was, he's been a mobster his whole life. Last thing he said before he died was, man, this whole shit lasted 5 minutes. And then he died. And well, I don't know how people took that, but when I heard that, I was like, wow. And he was I think he was in his 70s because he was old. And he said like it just seemed like he just summed up life as to 5 minutes, basically. And he was just like, this whole thing lasted 5 minutes. Wow. Everything that he had gone through, everything he was doing, money he made, people that he killed, just everything, And now I think he had died of cancer, and cancer took his life or whatever. But yeah, he was just like, man, this whole thing lasted 5 minutes. And I thought about that, that stayed in my head from the time I was young. You know what I mean? How at some point it's all gonna stop. You know what I mean? So what did you do in that time? All that. What did you do? You know what I'm saying? What impact did you make? What did this life actually mean to you? What did it offer you? You know what I mean? What did you give to it? That's how I took it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's all I got, man.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Thank you for that, son.
Yep, that was awesome. Yeah. Clarence, anything, brother?
No, I know y'all ready to go, man. I was just gonna say that that 15 years in the love relationship thing, that would depend on how people understand love based on the type of love that they got growing up. And if they didn't get a whole lot, then a marriage like that, looks good to them, or at least feels normal. And
yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, that's true. You only know what you know. You know what I mean? So that's true. So, and that's true, Sasha. Everything, like I said, is a blur to me. Sometimes I try to think back and think about certain situations, like I try to go back to just in my head. I say, let me go back to 10 years old. Can I remember anything? I remember bits and pieces of certain things, but you're right, man. It just goes so fast and it's like a blur. So like the important thing is that date you were born and the time you left here, that dash in between, that is so important. What you did, that's the most important thing on the tombstone. What did you do in between that dash from the time you were born to the time you died? So again, that's just my thoughts, my 2 cents on that. And I think we have one more comment and then we'll get on out of here. We have
Matthias.
Hold on, wait a minute. Did I get it right? Yeah. Matthias couldn't get it. I couldn't get him on. He said that was deep. Hey, thanks for tuning in, brother. We appreciate you. Definitely tune in again next week. And we have one more. Dreddy Girl says, indeed, deeply, deep. Love it. Hold on. All right. And Izzy says math is yes, it is. So got a lot of people out there. You know, we love you. Thank you for tuning in. Again, I'm gonna end it right now, and I guess, unless Naeem got something to say. Got anything, Naeem, before we get out of here? You good to go? All right, again, this is our Feel Good Talk Love 101. And again, you can catch us here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. right here on Feel Good Talk, Mind, Body, Soul, and Business. So we're going to get out of here now. And as I always do, 1, 2, 3. Peace. See you next week, same time. Do that homework because we're going to call on you. Yes, indeed.